Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Jeb Smith, and in today's video we're going to talk about the dangers of mortgage forbearance. Now, if you've been watching my videos for any period of time, we've talked about mortgage forbearance, what it is, the benefits of mortgage forbearance if you're in a position where you're having trouble making your payments. But what we're going to talk about today is the people that are taking advantage of the system, not really needing mortgage forbearance, but they're not weighing the downsides, the potential cons of taking mortgage forbearance. And I want to take a little bit of time and talk about that, because if you're one of those people considering mortgage forbearance because you want to keep the money, and create a savings account, or your thoughts are you're going to not pay your mortgage payments and save money to buy another property, or whatever the reason is. I'm having a lot of people comment on the videos that I do, and they're telling me that they're not making their mortgage payments, although they're in a position to do so because they want to save the money to do something else with it. And in fact, there's a lot of YouTubers out there saying you should take advantage of free mortgage payments because it's available to you. Take advantage of the system, save this money, pay off debt, whatever. And that you can, just throw those payments to the back of your loan and pay them at some point in the future. The reality is that's not going to be the case for everyone. So we're going to take a minute here and talk about mortgage forbearance. We're going to talk about some of the expiration dates that are coming up. If you were planning to actually take advantage of mortgage forbearance because you needed it, these deadlines are something that you need to be aware of. And so we're going to start there, and then we're going to talk about the dangers of doing mortgage forbearance, at least the instances that I'm aware of, because some of you guys have reached out to me and commented on the videos to tell me the negative side of things, and I want to take a minute and share that with all of you guys. So but I want to ask a favor before we do that. If you're new to me or new to my channel and you like videos like this, anything related to real estate, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. So right now, you have about 1 week to file for mortgage forbearance if you have a Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac loan and you live in a single family residence, townhome, or condo. That expires at the end of the year, the end of December, for you to take advantage of that initial mortgage forbearance that was part of the CARES Act, and that grants you up to potentially 1 year of free mortgage payments, if you will. It might not come as 1 year up front. It might be 3-month increments or 6-month increments, but you can go back and ask for more time, assuming you've been affected by the pandemic that's going on, and you have to tell them that you have been, in order to take advantage of that. If you have an FHA loan, they came out last week and said you have until the end of February 28th, to ask for mortgage forbearance if you've been affected by the pandemic. And then in that case, you could actually take the mortgage payments out again a full year, which could push you into 2022. Now, some of the questions I've received are, if I've taken mortgage forbearance, can I do it again if I'm out and started making my payments? My understanding is yes, you can take up to 1 year of mortgage forbearance. So if you've used part of it, gone back, and started making your payments, and you need it again because you've again been affected by the pandemic, you can once again take advantage of that up to 1 year of payments. Now, this is just what I'm hearing from different people who have commented on videos. I haven't heard that directly from the lender, so just keep that in mind. And then lastly, if you have a multifamily property, units of any sort, they actually Fannie and Freddie pushed out the option to file for mortgage forbearance on those until the end of March, but you have to allow your tenants to stay in the property, continuing missing payments. There's additional guidelines that go along with the multifamily properties and the act of taking forbearance. You essentially have to pass that along to the tenants of the property to give them relief. So you can't just take advantage of it, continue collecting the rental payments. It's being passed through and what have you. And what I'll do is I'll link to all of those below where you can find information on each of those. And then the idea that you take mortgage forbearance, that you pay it at some point in the future, is what mortgage forbearance is all about, right? There's 4 different options that are out there, and one of those options is a deferred payment. So it takes all of those missed payments, defers them until the end of your loan. So you just essentially pick back up where you left off, continuing making your mortgage payments after your forbearance ends. With FHA, this is called a partial claim. It's basically a silent second on the end of your loan. When you sell your property or refinance your property, you essentially pay it off at that time. That's the option that everyone wants, because your loan gets reinstated, you just pick back up, you continue making your payments. Life is good in theory, right? Nothing was truly affected with credit, with your loan, any of that stuff. The second option is a repayment option, and that's where they take all of those payments, they throw them over a period of time. So say you missed a year's worth of payments and your payment was $2,000 a month, that's $24,000. They might say, okay, we're going to give you 2 years to repay that, and they take that $24,000, they divide it by 24 months, so that's $1,000 a month, and so they add that $1,000 to your current mortgage payment and you pay it back that way. You have the lump sum option where you come up with all the payments at once and pay this lump sum, and then your loan is reinstated and back to normal. No one wants that option because it makes you pay it all up front. Another loan option, repayment option, would be a modification where you're not in a position to defer, you're not in a position to repay. So they change the term on your loan. Maybe they extend the term of your loan. Maybe they modify the interest rate. They do something to modify the terms of the loan. And my understanding is that could actually affect your credit more so than the other option. So a lot of people want the deferment option, but what they don't understand is you don't get to pick that option, right? Everybody wants deferment, everybody wants the partial claim or what have you, but not everyone's going to qualify. The lender is likely going to request information from you. They're going to request pay stubs, some sort of assets potentially, to make sure that you're in a position to continue making the payment that you had before. You've got to be able to prove that. And if you weren't truly affected by COVID and you just took advantage of it, maybe you can provide the documentation they need, but we don't really know how the lender's looking at it and making that calculation. Secondly, if you were affected and you regained employment or whatever, and you took a lower paying job and you want that deferment option, maybe your income doesn't match what the lender's looking for in order for you to get that deferment. So they might throw you to the repayment option or the lump sum option or what have you. So what I'm getting at here is, yes, it would be great to not have mortgage payments for a year. I would love that. Quite frankly, I would love to just take that money, throw it in an account and do something with it in the future. But you've got to understand that, people will take advantage of the system and try to manipulate it. And some people think that they can do that and just get the deferment option. And what I'm hearing from people like you guys who've commented on my videos saying that they didn't qualify for the deferment option. They didn't qualify to have all their payments put up to the end. And so the lender is doing other things to either modify their loan or the repayment option. And so now what they thought was a great thing to start with is not so great. It's not that they're in a position that they're going to foreclose on their house, but it's not the repayment option that they thought they were going to have. They thought they were just going to be able to take this money, put it aside, and not have to pay it essentially back until the end of the loan, where some people are having to come up with money to make their loan current, to exit forbearance so that they don't have to deal with these other repayment options and what have you. So what I'm telling you is that if you're planning on taking advantage of the system, whether you need it or merely taking advantage of it, understand that you don't get to pick that option at the end. You need to know that there is a chance that you're going to have to do one of these other options that could end up negatively affecting you. So, while a lot of people out there want to believe that, this is just free mortgage payments, free money, and you can do whatever, that's not necessarily going to be the case. So, keep that in mind if you're trying to do mortgage forbearance or even considering it. And, my goal here has always been to just educate you on the subject, to provide some information. And I've always said that, my thoughts on this is you shouldn't take mortgage forbearance unless you absolutely need it. And it's proven to be the case more so now because people aren't getting the options that they thought they would. So as more information comes out on this, I'll continue to update you. I would imagine that mortgage forbearance is going to be something we're going to be talking about for some period of time. I think this is probably going to get extended a few times if I had to guess, as long as the pandemic's around, unless the vaccine does truly make an impact sooner rather than later. So, but as more information comes out, I'll continue to put it out to you. If you haven't done so already and you like this content, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. But for now, I appreciate you taking the time to watch. I appreciate your support as always, and I hope to see you again soon. Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.